Ladies and gentlemen, the story coming out of Oklahoma really touched my heart. And to be honest, I was actually kind of putting the stories together and kind of looking over what we were going to be speaking about. And at the last minute, I ran across the story. It said it had just got posted like 14 hours ago. And I was like, wow, and it's Oklahoma. And I was like, what is this big secret thing that's been going on? So you know what I decided to do? I watched the video and it blew my mind for a lot of different reasons. First of all, because of the details. So just want you guys to know that the details are probably going to be a bit disturbing in a different way, because you're just like, I didn't know that humans behave that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess you all are sentient beings and we have the ability to make our own choices, but the person that you guys just saw on my screen is just, there are no words for this. This is just a different level of just, it will leave you speechless. That's what this story is going to do. So just as a forewarning, let me give you guys the fair usage. Fair warning. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. All right. So again, I'm getting this story from WBAL.com. So if there's any misinformation in there, that's my source for now. But I can almost guarantee you from the person that's actually been doing an interview with this story, I actually know her personally. So I can actually vouch that a lot of this information is going to be correct. So in August, Oklahoma City police got a tip that a man had multiple children with his stepdaughter. Take a moment, process what I just said, please. I'm going to say that again. The food that you guys just saw on the screen, I'm 100% positive that is an accurate picture of the person involved in this case. So I don't think anybody else has that information right now. So anybody who sees this is probably getting it from me first, okay? So sometimes some of us that are investigative journalists are able to get some information before other people are. This man had multiple children with his stepdaughter. Okay? That is what he is charged in this story of doing. That report would unravel a family and shake an entire community. For the first time and only on KOCO 5, and shout out to them, this story has already gone viral. They've got at least 1 million views off of it so far. It's the number 4 trending story on YouTube right now, which is pretty big, so shout out to them. Hear from adult children about the life behind closed doors and the hero who would turn him in. The cul-de-sac in southeastern Oklahoma City looks like any other. Let me go back to that picture so y'all can see this. Just for context purposes, in Oklahoma and Oklahoma City, you see houses like this all the time. Looks very normal. The yard looks maintenance. Let me go back. That food looks so weird. It looks maintenance. It looks relatively clean, but sometimes you just don't know a house of horrors until you're on the inside, which is just crazy. Inside this yellow house was a man with a secret. One woman, Doris Cole, would unearth the truth. It just took someone paying attention. And believe it or not, he was telling on himself every day, but no one listened, according to her. A family of 11 lived in the house. So you're talking about 9 children plus this man and his wife. I didn't pull up her picture. I have some thoughts about that, but we'll get there. We'll circle back to that. But that man, his wife, 9 children were hidden away from the world. They never left the house, only with him, a neighbor told KOCO back in August. The children have never been to school, never been to a doctor's office, or even to a movie, all to conceal a secret they never knew was wrong: their dad's relationship with their stepsister. KOCO 5 asked if they knew the younger children were their dad's children too. I already knew about I already knew about it, but I didn't know there was anything wrong with it. The 23-year-old who lived in the home said, this is going to be a lot to absorb, so just bear with me. 23 years old. We'll come back to that. A 12-year-old, their oldest sister, had their first baby with their dad, according to court documents. Hashtag not my words. We grew up, we just grew up like it was normal to us, the 33-year-old who lived in the home said. 33 years old, bookmark that, we'll come back to it. Their oldest sister gave birth to 4 more children inside the home. Yeah, I think I was 7 or 8, the 20-year-old who lived in the home said. The news sat down with three of the siblings who wanted to share their story. We asked if they were ever questioned why they weren't allowed to leave the house more. Dad always said he didn't want us to get hurt because he was protecting us from outside people, the 20-year-old said. That would all change. I was looking for someone to paint the ceilings, and he answered the ad, according to Cole, which is this young lady right here. And like I said before, this is the person that I personally know, which is the godsend person in this story, okay? So she literally came in as a savior in this story to try to give these kids somewhat of a future, because their life as is and as was is just really, really complicated. So she's trying to help them fix that. Cole hired the father back in 2017 as a contractor. She was opening several businesses at 10th Street and May Avenue. They looked really crazy every day, from the clothes they wore and the smell, she said. He started taking 2 of his teenage daughters to work, and Cole picked up on something that she couldn't let go of. They could not read, which is very strange for their age. So they also could not write. Their speech was really bad, and you guys will hear that from the video. I'll play that here in just a second. When I first met her, I thought she had an accent. She would question the family's homeschooling, the father's persistent phone alerts, and the van packed full of food and clothing. He tried to homeschool us, then it went from trying to not doing, Cole said, excuse me. It seemed there was nothing overtly wrong. Every day it was driving me insane because there was nothing I could do about it. It was nothing I could tell the police. However, that changed when she met the stepdaughter. This is where it's about to get crazy, so brace yourselves. This information might be disturbing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. The first time I met her was in the hallway, and I go, man, she looks like she just had a child, Cole said. She was young, and she was looking at her like she was some kind of candy. I started putting stuff together. Maybe those kids are hers and his. The family became distant, and Cole believed it was because she was asking too many questions. They came back 2 years later looking for work. Now, this time I said, okay, I'm not letting this guy get away until I figure out what's going on. This time the father told her the truth. He said, this is not my daughter. This is one of the kids. This is my lover, and that's my wife. And I said, what? And after 7 years, Cole had the proof that she needed. I seen him kissing her, and I said, you know what? This is it. I'm calling the police. Detectives began interviewing the family. Worried he would take them and run, Cole let them stay at one of her homes as she worked with the police without the family knowing. On September 21st, police surrounded the home, but the dad wasn't there. They asked me if I knew where he was, and I said, well, he was at the other house, and said that he was coming back, Cole said. So I called him and said, hey, the police are at the house. He said, did they see the kids? Hope y'all are catching this. He asked if they saw the kids. The news asked what the feeling was inside the home. She said, I was hurt because my dad took forever to come, the 23-year-old said. The adult children were left alone with their secret siblings, waiting for their dad to face up to the crime. I was amazed and shocked that I'm looking at this entire family I've never seen before, Cole said. I have seen bits and pieces, and the condition that the little kids were in, I never imagined. Court documents revealed that the children had poor hygiene, a foul odor, lack of dental care, and were sleeping on one heavily soiled mattress on the floor. Investigators said that two of the children were nonverbal. Trigger warning. Thank you very much. Two of the children were nonverbal. After 3 hours, the dad finally showed up at the home. I stood there on the porch. I didn't get to see his face, but I saw him from the porch. That was one of the most satisfying days of my life to watch him get into the police car. But here's the difference. We now have his face. So you guys can see what that face looks like. And let me be real with y'all. Let me be real. Because of our natural instincts to socially classify crimes based on what race you think it was, to be real, and I'm sure a lot of y'all probably thought initially when y'all heard this story, it was about a 1.5 million people, maybe 2 million people that saw this story. A lot of y'all thought that the person that did this was a white man. How many of y'all thought that? But it wasn't. It was a weird looking black man. This guy. Like, he just looks extremely weird. And I am 100% positive that this is the correct picture of him. Right there. Picture can say 1,000 words, and I just think that picture right there really, really says a lot. Both mom and dad were arrested. Let me say that again. Both mom and dad were arrested. We're going to come back to the mom. The father was charged with 3 counts of sexual abuse, 5 counts of child neglect, and 3 counts of child abuse. His wife was charged with multiple counts of enabling neglect and sexual abuse. Those who lived in the home said that they saw her as a victim and didn't think that she should be arrested. That's where I start to have a problem. I don't really understand that, because this is a functioning adult that is allowed to raise children, a wife, an adult, knew this was going on, knew this was wrong, allowed it to happen, essentially propagated this, aided and abetted this effing idiot, huh? Pretty much aided and abetted this. This is where the AFC comes in, and people like me, here's what I believe. Whatever time you give him in prison for committing the acts and the hiding and the lying and the abuse and the nastiness and the filth and how much psychological damage, which is the word I was looking for earlier, have done to all of these other 9 people in the house, I think that she should get just as much time in prison as him. Let me ask you guys a question. For those who believe that she might be a victim, let me just be real, and I'm sorry if this offends people. What good are they to society? Let me ask you guys this. What good will they bring society if they were to get back out of prison? I think nothing. I think people like this have to go. The damage is done. They've done enough. I don't think people like this should ever be allowed in society ever again, ever allowed to be around children again. And this is where the hashtag TTO and TTT comes in. Hashtag TTO, take the ovaries. Hashtag TTT, take the testicles. They should not have reproductive rights. Is that a strong stance? You're goddamn right it is, because when you're dealing with children and you misuse and manipulate and take advantage of babies, I believe it is our absolute God-given responsibility to put these people in the dirt, in the proverbial dirt. Of course, all we can really do is sentence them to prison for life. I think that deserves a life sentence. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Y'all have got to hear this interview. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And even though some of these other 9 people or children or whatever you want to call them are now adult age, just please understand that they were also victims in this as well, and their minds were already messed up by this. So we have to have some level of understanding when it comes to that, okay? Just, that's really about the best that we can do. Like, can you charge them criminally because they're technically adults? I guess you could, but that would probably be the only exception I would say that maybe you probably shouldn't. But do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up. We're going to be gifting channel memberships here every month. So if you guys hit that thumbs up and share these videos and leave a comment, let me know what you think. We will absolutely start to, show more love to our audience and people in the chat, okay? Here we go.
A house of secrets and abuse. In August, Oklahoma City police got a tip that a man had multiple children with his stepdaughter. That report would unravel a family and shake an entire community. Thank you for joining us here. I'm Jessica Shambach.
I'm Evan Onstadt. Tonight we are hearing for the first time from the adult children on life behind those closed doors, as well as the hero who would turn him in. KOCO's Kylie Thomas has the exclusive story you'll only see on 5.
This cul-de-sac in southeastern Oklahoma City looks like any other. But inside this yellow house was a man with a secret. And one woman would unearth the truth.
It just took someone paying attention. And believe it or not, he was telling on himself every single day. No one listened.
A family of 11 lived here. Mom, dad, and 9 children, hidden away from the world.
They never left the house only with him.
The children had never been to school, the doctors, or even a movie theater. All to conceal a secret they never knew was wrong. Their dad's relationship with their stepsister.
Did you know that the younger kids were your dad's kids too?
That I already knew about. I never knew that it was anything wrong with it.
Yeah, we just grew up like if it was normal to us.
At 12 years old, their oldest sister had her first baby with their dad, according to court documents. She gave birth to 4 more inside this home. KOCO sat down with 3 of the siblings who wanted to share their story.
So when she had her first baby, you were just little.
Yeah, I think I was 7 or 8.
Did you ever question why you guys weren't allowed to leave the house more?
Not too much, because Dad always said that he didn't want us to get hurt, or because he protecting us because of the people that are outside.
But that would all change.
I was looking for someone to paint the ceilings, and he answered the ad.
Doris Cole hired the father in 2017 as a contractor. She was opening several businesses at 10th and May.
They looked really crazy every day. From the clothes that they wore, from the smell.
He started taking 2 of his teenage daughters to work, and Doris picked up on something she couldn't let go.
They couldn't read, they couldn't write.
He tried to homeschool us, and then they went from trying to not doing.
And the speech was really bad. When I first met her, I thought she had an accent.
She would question the family's homeschooling, the father's persistent phone alerts, and the van packed full of food and clothing. But there was nothing overtly wrong.
Every day it was driving me insane because there's nothing I could do about it. It was nothing I had to tell the cops.
Until she met the stepdaughter.
The first time I met her was in the hallway, and I said, man, that girl looked like she just had a child. She was young, and he was looking at her as if she was some sort of candy. I started putting stuff together. I said, okay, maybe those kids are hers and his.
The family became distant. Doris believes it was because she was asking too many questions. But they came back 2 years later looking for work.
Now this time I said, okay, I'm not letting this guy get away until I figure out what's going on.
And this time, the father told her the truth.
He said, well, this is not my daughter, just one of the kids. This is my lover, and that's my wife. I said, what?
After 7 years, Doris had the proof she needed.
I seen him kissing her. And I said, you know what, this is it. I called the police.
Detectives began interviewing the family. Worried he would take them and run, Doris let them stay in one of her homes as she worked with police without the family knowing. And on September 21st, police surrounded the home, but Dad wasn't there.
They'd asked me if I knew where he was, and I said, well, he's at his other house. He said he was coming back.
So for people who are asking who this is, so I hope you guys caught that. This is the person, because you know they had little kids that was in that house also. She stepped in because I guess she was a former employer of the father, and she was finding out about a lot of this stuff. So she's just like, damn, like, you know, I want to help in this situation. So she ended up getting custody of the kids, and she's now trying to raise them, educate them, and try to just get them to some semblance of right, because they have so many debilitating things that has happened to them over all this time, including their speech, their dental issues, hygiene issues, just maybe even their mindset. But also, you know, I know her, and I'm gonna tell y'all a really cool thing about this is that I've always known that this woman was a really awesome person. But just to see that me and her, like we hadn't talked in a long time, but just so you know, full disclosure, because she don't mind me telling this, but we talked this morning, and I told her I was going to do this story, so I sent her the link so she knows I'm doing the story and talking about this. But we talked a lot about this, so there's certain details I can share with the public, certain things I'm going to hold on to until we're probably going to end up talking about this a lot more. But just to know that I'm now doing a podcast where we advocate for children, which is what the AFC stands for. And then to know that she's actually advocating for children, and it's a friend of mine, and it's a viral #4 story in the world right now on YouTube, I think it's just flat out incredible. So shout out to her, just really, really dope. I'm gonna let the rest of this video play.
So I called him and I said, hey, you know, the police are at the house. He's like, did they see the kids?
What was the feeling inside of your house?
I was hurt because my dad took forever to come.
The adult kids were left alone with their secret siblings, waiting for their dad to face up to the crime.
I'm amazed, at the same time amazed and shocked that I'm looking at this entire family I've never seen before. I've seen bits and pieces, and the condition that the little ones were in. I never imagined.
Court documents reveal the kids had poor hygiene, foul odor, lack of dental care, and were sleeping on one heavily soiled mattress on the floor. Investigators say 2 of the children were nonverbal. After 3 hours, Dad finally showed up.
I stood there on the porch. I didn't get to see his face up front, but I saw him from the porch. That was one of the most satisfying days probably in my life, to watch him go get in the police car.
All right, take a seat for me.
Both Mom and Dad were arrested. The father's charged with 3 counts of sexual abuse of a child, 5 counts of child neglect, and 3 counts of child abuse. His wife is charged with multiple charges for enabling neglect and sexual abuse.
Both see her also as a victim. Do you see that too?
Now, yes.
You don't think she should be arrested?
No.
Court documents reveal a child told forensic investigators her dad had touched her privacy because he was a doctor.
No, I never thought that Dad would touch us or say anything sexual to us, so I never worried about it.
How did you watch that? How did you hold your daughter's hand while she's having a baby by your husband?
I can't hate him because he is a strong boy. I could only forgive them. I could only forgive my dad. And I could leave the rest of it into God's hands.
Today, the adult kids still live in Doris's home and work for her. They're now enrolled in school.
I'm doing better at my reading, So I read a book yesterday.
Have their first IDs, are learning how to drive, and working to get their sister's children back to her from state custody.
You have a 26-year-old that can't read, can't write. How does she teach her kids that can't read or write how to write?
Now, looking back, do you feel grateful that Doris intervened?
Yes. Because she was helping us out.
It's just hard because I was the one that did it, but I'm also the one that's taking care of it.
Now, Doris hopes the community can wrap around this family and lift them up as they navigate life for the very first time.
So I'm hoping that that if there's anybody that wants to help, that it's a genuine help. I mean, they've already been lied to and hurt their entire lives. So I'm hoping that their journey in this world and the people that run into them would remember that.
Reporting, Kylie Thomas, KOCO 5.
Let's go ahead and stop that right there. And I'm going to tell you guys this. There is more coming from this. And I'm sorry, but I can't see the wife walking away from this scot-free. I can't, like, in my soul, I'm obviously going to have to research this a bit more to make sure that all the facts are out there, the things that haven't come out. You know, I'll make sure and educate myself about this stuff before I give a more thorough opinion. But as of right now, where it stands, I can't see the wife getting off scot-free. I'm absolutely going to advocate that she does life in prison for this alleged father, this man, this alleged black man, this alleged human. I'm about to cuss. Oh, matter of fact, I didn't even give y'all his name. Hold on. Let's pause that right there. I don't know if I can pause that. Almost forgot. Very important thing. Because you guys are getting this from my channel. His name is Timothy Bivens. Timmoty. Bivens, Bivins. His wife, her name is Emma Bivens. AFC, trust me when I tell you, we are not freaking done with this by any stretch of the imagination. This is just the beginning, and I'm not going to stop. And especially with this being in Oklahoma, just know that we're going to be putting boots to the ground, and we're absolutely going to make sure and get justice for those children, against this freaking idiot, against the wife, and do as much as we can to try to just help in this situation. And also, well, I'm not going to really, do I want to put this out there? Just know that the lady who's helping, we're probably going to be speaking to her too. So we're probably going to be bringing her on the platform here pretty quick and talking with her. I'm going to do a little bit of catching up with her because, like I said, we're old friends. We've known each other for a long time from Oklahoma City, you know, not to get all up in our business or nothing like that, but, you know, just an awesome business person and just an awesome human being. Awesome business person, awesome human being. So shout out to her. Keep her prayer hands in the chat for her. If you guys want to extend any type of support for them or anything like that, make sure to shoot me an email, theafcmatters@gmail.com. So if they do end up putting up like a GoFundMe or anything like that, or if there's some type of something where the public can participate in, I will make sure to let you guys know, because the second I find out, I'll make sure and post those links. I'll share it in the community tab, but we're definitely going to follow up on the story, okay? Leave a comment in the comment section. Please hit that thumbs up and share the story, please.